Today I have a quickie teardown video. This is a Cincinnati microwave escort radar detector. A buddy of mine gave it to me because he lost the key to reset it. You know, the stupid key you got to use every 150 hours to keep it working. Let's check it out. Today I have a gadget to take apart. This is a teardown of an escort radar detector made by Cincinnati Microwave. And this unit actually is not, there's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. It was given to me by a buddy. My buddy that loves radar detectors, and he's got about a dozen of the things, and he buys every radar detector that ever comes out on the market. And he's the only guy I know that's got more speeding tickets than anybody else I know of too. Myself, I don't have the time of day for a radar detector. In fact, I haven't owned one since I was, I think, 19 or 20. Because the only time I ever got tickets, speeding tickets, was when I had one of these bloody things. And one time a cop came up to me and he said, he said to me, one of these days you'll grow up and figure out that having that thing in your car is just an invitation to get a ticket. He says, because he says, they might not be illegal here. In BC where I live, they weren't illegal. But in Alberta, they certainly were. But he said, if we see one of these things in the car, or we see it light up when we turn on the radar, he says, if you're going one over, you're getting a ticket and you're not talking your way out of it. And I threw the one I had out. It was, I think it was 1986. I tossed the one I had, and I never received another speeding ticket since then. And anybody who knows how I drive knows that I have a relatively heavy foot. Anyway, this thing here was a buddy of mine's, and he gave it to me because he can't use it anymore. And the reason he can't use it is because Cincinnati Microwave, which of course is now out of business, they had this escort digital key security system. And if you look on the back here, every 150 hours of use, you must unlock your escort. So the power LED will blink and notify you when there's 10 hours remaining before it locks. And you plug your escort in and you turn it off, and you put the digital key in the back and you turn it on and you remove the key and wait 30 seconds. He lost the key for it. So the company's out of business. So you can't order another key for it. Each key was keyed to the serial number of the unit itself. So he's misplaced the key, can't find it. Unit is now completely useless. So he gave it to me and said, here you go. You can have it. Do with it what you want. He says to me, it's got about 10 hours of use before it's going to lock. I have never used it. So I just said, well, you know what? Let's just take this thing apart and take a look at the construction of one of these made in USA Cincinnati Microwave radar detectors. So that's what we are going to do today. We're going to take this thing apart. Well, maybe it doesn't have to do that. It just slides out there. There we go. So there's the guts to one of these units. Of course, the heart to any radar detector is obviously the antenna or the horn. So located down in the bottom of that horn, you'll see the gun diode, as they call it. There's one that you can see, it's white, and then there's another one in behind those, a little slot at the back. So one is for the X band, and the other one's for the K or the Ka band, which is a much higher frequency. And if you look on the bottom of the board here, you'll see that there's one here. Actually, there's three diodes. You can see them. So one is going to be for the X band, one's going to be for the K band, and it's going to be another one for the Ka band, which was the camera band. And these are all tuned. That's what these cavities here, we're not going to, well, you can tune it by turning it here, but that's what this is. This is for tuning the cavity. So these are all tuned to a specific wavelength. And basically what this is just a radio receiver. When it receives a signal on the frequency that it is tuned to, it measures the signal strength and sets off an alarm. But here's the circuit board. As you can see, the circuit board on these things is really well done. $19.89, I guess that's when this was made. So there's a top side view. As you can see, they've added an extra little circuit board here. So obviously there was some changes that they made to the design after the unit itself was into production. Maybe they added the KA band, or they did something that required a daughter board to be added to it. For that matter, this might even be part of the security system, but I think that's pretty unlikely. Okay, so one goes down to here and the other one goes over to there. So they've put this add-on board for something, but what this does, I have no idea. I guess technically it could be part of the security key that keeps track of the time on it, but without any documentation. I know that I've read comments that people, that lost their key, they could send the unit to Cincinnati Microwave and they would unlock it for a one-time fee so they didn't have to use the key. So that's possible to do, but apparently what's happened is since Cincinnati Microwave was sold, the company that took over their, because now it's Escort Incorporated, but no longer Cincinnati Microwave. So from what I understand, the company that took over for them bought all the assets, and all the equipment required to work on these old legacy units was all discarded. So yeah, they're boat anchors basically. And my buddy that gave me this says, just plug it in and use it in your car. Try it out, see what it's like, and then when it stops working, just throw it out. But that was like 2 years ago. He gave me this thing, and it's just been sitting here ever since. And I have no intention to put it in my car because I'm of the belief that after I was warned about these back when I was like 21 or so, cops said, yeah, when we see someone with a radar detector, it doesn't matter. They're getting a ticket. They're not talking their way out of it. If you don't have one and a cop pulls you over and he says, do you have any idea why I stopped you? You say, no, I have no idea. And then they usually say, you're going a little bit quick. What are you in such a hurry for? And then you can use the excuse, I just wasn't, I didn't realize, I was terribly sorry. I don't realize I was going faster. They usually will say, slow down and have a good day. But you got one of these things in your car, they're going to give you the blue paper, as they say, or whatever the color of the paper is in your jurisdiction. Here it's blue. They're going to give you the blue paper, and you're going to have to write a check to your licensing agency. Anyway, not much to see in this thing. I just figured I would show you guys what the inside of one of these Cincinnati Microwave made in USA. They were considered to be one of the best of these detectors that was on the market. And quality-wise, the construction looks to be pretty good. All nice surface-mounted components, tuned circuits. It's like they get just like full IF in here, tuned circuits. And with the exception of this little add-on board. If anybody knows what that is, or if anybody that's watching knows how to defeat that security timer, I'm all ears. So this unit's back together, as you can see. It does work, except for once that timer runs out, it's garbage. Planned obsolescence. Thanks for watching.